Well, good evening, family. That you're doing well. And I just wanted to come to you this Friday to talk a little bit about what is going on in government right now and what is going on with President Trump. State of emergency. For those who may not know me and follow my show, my name is Shirley Husar, and you are watching Shirley's World. So if you have an opportunity, please get the thumbs up, like, and share this video. To give you a little history of those who may not know my background, my name is Shirley Husar. I'm an advocate and a person who believes in passion and authenticity on grassroots connections. I just don't talk about it and reiterate other things that people hear in the news. I'm a person that's actually out here on the streets talking to people, filming, interacting, and getting straight facts of what people are feeling. Some people may say, well, it's hypothetical, or it might be hypothetical, or it might be someone's opinion or ideas. But what we're finding of what I've stated in the past come into fruition. I've talked about hepatitis A, I've talked about typhus, I've talked about the homeless people, and I've talked about the rats in the streets and these bugs that illegal immigrants have brought into this country and disrupted California. I'm a native born and raised in California. I'm not a person that says, oh, let's talk about illegal immigrants. I'm actually in the state that is in disarray right now, the state that is under attack, the state that's being used as a template for this administration to go after. Right now, California is at war with the President of the United States. They have no respect for what they're trying to do to have safety and sanity for us who are out there. Hey, shout out to all the people who are watching right now. I appreciate it. Thank you for your thumbs up. So let's get going. President Trump made a state of an emergency today. Things that we already knew was already coming. We already knew that he was going to declare a state of emergency. We already knew that he was not going to take us back where we had a government recession and shut down. We were not going to get shut down again like many people had proposed that he would do. He didn't do that. He basically took the deal that he could get from Congress, and then he looked in other entities and said, we're going to take these resources and we are going to protect the American people. Now, numerous of times I kept saying to myself, oh, I just had some lunch or dinner. I said to myself, why is President Trump keep talking about the thugs and the drugs and the drug dealers? Because he wants you to understand the premise of which this state of emergency had to be declared under, because he knew that the lawsuits were going to come afterwards. So in this video, I'm going to prepare you to ideas of what's going to happen that no one's going to talk about on their stream. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen because President Trump already gave you a prelude right after he declared a state of emergency. He already told you what California and all the rest of these Looney Tune liberal progressive states are going to do against the federal government and in the best interest of not the American people, but illegal immigrants, and chain migration. My name is Shirley Husar. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being engaged. My purpose of my videos is to provide you real grassroots connection. I'm out on these streets. I'm walking among people with typhus. I'm walking among black people who are getting ate up by rats, who are living in tents in all this rain and this cold weather. And y'all talking about this bullshit with this little boy who allegedly got beat up. We talking about stuff that just don't really have relevancy in our community. We need to talk about opportunities. We need to talk about economic plights. We need to talk about execution of the descendants of slaves who deserve the full benefits and rights of this country. Instead, everybody else is riding on the backs of black people, and black people don't even know how to ride on their own backs. So those are the discussions that we need to be having. But the state of emergency and what President Trump has done is basically part of that, and I'm going to explain how. The state of emergency basically decreed that President Trump is going to complete the wall. The wall has been built. It's being built. It's being restructured because we have a wall. It's that the wall has flaws and weak barriers where people are coming in under the ground, over the top. They're coming under false names and pretense. But what has happened is when they come to California, which is the weakest part of the border where I live in a state where this state is perverted, is fucked up, and doesn't give a damn about the black people in the city and in the streets. They have dispositioned us and pushed us out and made us homeless. This country has dispositioned us, like Wells Fargo giving $125 billion to Hispanic and illegal immigrants to further their position in the plight of power and leadership and economics in this country. But black people don't get it. These liberal progressive, these entertainers, these people who are NFL supporters, who don't like NFL, whoever you are, you don't get it. All you want to do is hate Trump, but you don't even think about the benefits and the repercussions and the pain and the anguish that upon the black people in this country, and how your children are going to suffer because you're being dispositioned financially, emotionally by other entities, private companies and businesses and banks that have empowered the Latin and Hispanic community. Now, for those who may not know history, let me take you back. Let me educate you. Let me bring you up to par. This country was built in African Americans came here in 1619, right? We came here as slaves, a commodity of trades and goods and service. We colonized with white people. We went to war with white people against Great Britain in 1776. And from there, America commenced with blacks and white people. Okay? And from there, we grew and grew and grew. And then other people from other countries came here. Other people, so the Mexicans were here first. Mexicans did not fight in the Revolutionary War. Okay, let me make this clear. The Mexicans did not create the Constitution of what we abide our laws under. So many of you guys give your power to other countries and other cultures, which I really don't, ding, ding, ding. I just don't get the ding dings in any of that. I don't understand why you keep wanting to protect these people when you haven't even protected your own yet. I do not know why you want to socially mediatize all on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Snapchat, your YouTube channels about these people who are here illegally when black people are incarcerated illegally. Mass incarceration of black people unjustly incarcerated right now. And you're not fighting for that. You're not fighting for black families or the emasculated black men or black boys who are being targeted by gay white men. You ain't fighting for that, but you quick to jump on this anti-Trump thing. But let's talk about local government. So in the state of California, Gavin Newsom today declared that they are going to sue the federal government. Now there's some people say, oh, that's good, he's suing them. He's going to sue the federal government, saying that he does not have the right to declare a safe border and passage into this country. Now, I think that to be the most craziest, buffoonish thing I'd ever heard of. You're going to basically declare that we're going to stop the president from keeping the people safe. This is why he's Nancy Pelosi's Looney Tune nephew that is now running the state, that has misappropriated use of funds with that bullet train. Him and Jerry Brown and Camilla Harris, they all claiming they're going to claim it, not claim it. That's what Camilla was twisted TikTok. You'll read some articles where Camilla Harris says she supports the train, she don't support the train, because she knew that that money was not being used right. Now, Gavin Newsom is saying that he don't want the train built. And I think it was $1.5 billion that they were able to acquire from the federal government under Obama. So President Trump said the other day, boo-boo, you're going to have to give that money back. Oh, we can't give you that money back. We've done eminent domain. We've taken over people's properties. We have built tracks. We built stuff that we will never use. So it's just going to be a sore eye on parts of California. I'm saying this state is so screwed up. They got all that going on, and still today, when President Trump declared a state of emergency, they had enough time to pull some press people together and get some little Mexican attorney that ain't nothing but 5'2" to get up there and say, we're going to sue President Trump. They didn't even call him president. They call him Trump. We're going to sue Donald Trump, like Donald Trump running the country, not the president. Not the backing of the federal government, not the backing of someone that can basically order the army, the Navy, the military. They can pull out every armed defense to come take your damn state off the map. No. Just Donald Trump. That's how stupid they are. So President Trump counteracted them right away. He came outside with a press conference. He said, look, no, this is how this way is going to go down. I'm declaring a state of emergency. We're going to get sued. We know we're going to get sued. The Ninth Circuit courts are out of California. They're going to vote against me. Then it's going to have to go to the Supreme Court. because we're going to come back and say, we don't care what the Ninth Circuit said. We're going to circumvent you. We're still not going to let you do what you want to do. Then what's going to happen is it's going to go from the Ninth Circuit it's going to go to a war situation. And then they're going to end up warring, meaning a war of words and a war of legal battles. And then we're going to end up in the Supreme Court. And as you know, we have a new Supreme Court judge, which was appointed by President Trump. And you bitches are going to lose. So you're going to lose this battle of trying to stop a wall to protect the American people. Oh, that's why you want to build that wall. But see, you don't walk around with your wallets open. You don't walk around with your car doors open. You don't walk around with your house unlocked. But we have to have borders open for people who are irresponsible in their own country, like Guadalajara and El Salvador and Mexico, who continues to let them come in, and Tijuana, who said they're sick of them, but yet you have broken borders and you've allowed these people to push through. So that's kind of contradicting Mexico. It's kind of contradicting Tijuana when you say you're sick of them yourself, but yet you have your broken systems in place. Now, somebody help me out. Put some thumbs up and share this video and make it real, because that don't make no kind of sense. Who's out there? Zach is out there. Let me look at Shut Up Systems. How you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much. Lawrence is out there. Houston, Texas, baby. Hey, honey, how you doing? I appreciate you guys coming in. African Americans need to leave the Democrat Party. I got that. I know y'all been doing these videos. So my African Americans need to leave the Democrat Party. You know what? These parties are all perverted to some extent. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I've been a Republican more than all these other YouTubers, longer than all these other YouTubers. I've been a Republican all my life. I didn't take no red pill, and I didn't just walk away. Okay? And I've been very engaged with the Republican Party. I was a delegate for the state of California for 10 years. I served on the Geology Geophysicists Board, appointed by Governor Schwarzenegger for 4 years. I was appointed to 2 presidency, delegacy, President Bush and President Trump, and I was a surrogate for the entire state of California in 2016. So I'm not trying to toot my horn. I'm trying to lay some real groundwork for you to understand, a person who's seasoned, who understands the plight of this country and what this bullshit we're dealing with. You can leave the Democrat, you can leave the Republican Party. What does that mean when you have no legislation of emphasis to help black people? Ideology on the table other than leaving? Well, you leave the Democrats and Republicans going to do if you don't have an agenda, if you don't have a plight, if you're not talking about black families, if you're not talking about preservation. Because all I see right now under the Democrats is aiding and abetting and treasonous acts. Now, you do your homework and look that up. Aiding and abetting and treasonous acts on top of the collusion between government interacting with MS-13 and other foreign entities to work against this administration. Now, you tell me, is that in the people's best interest? Does that work good for America? Because God knows it doesn't work good for me or you. We are not advancing with this type of ideology and thinking in this country. Come on now. Thank you for hitting the like button. I love it. I love what you guys are saying. CR says, I totally agree. So if black people are just going to talk about walking away from the Democrat Party, then if that's the only in-depth thing that you can do of contribution towards the movement of goodness for our people, I appreciate that. Now, I'm not here to be sitting there back throwing wolf cookies or little milk ducats to you. I'm going to provide you some hardcore meat. Write this down. Black people need to not only wake up, they need to have an agenda. You need to look at an agenda. What should that agenda consist of? Black families first. You need to talk about preservation between black families who are being targeted not only through Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood, but through mass incarceration and the breakdown of our black communities. These communities are being broken and taken advantage by allowing MS-13s to move into our community. Why do they move into our community? Because we're the weaker point. These white people ain't trying to have them people move into their communities. These illegal immigrants go into black urban communities. They threaten our elderly and our older people and our seasoned homeowners and tell them that they need to move out or they're going to take the communities over. You can look that up online. You can find out that they take those cocktail bottles and they started bombs and fire. These are things that are not making the news. They've been doing for the last 5 to 10 years through immigration, visas, and chain migration. So we need to have a protective class status put back in place and take heed to it. We need to understand that we are not just minorities. I'm tired of everybody calling themselves minorities. The gay is a minority, a white man's a minority, a white woman's a minority. We are not minorities. We are descendants of slaves. We go back to 1619 of the 400 years of being in this country, when they brought us as commoditized goods, trades, and service. They did not bring us here as immigrants. We're not illegal immigrants. And people come to you and say, well, we're all immigrants. No, we're not. We're not all immigrants. Some of us can go back 400 years. When you hear Mexican or someone tell you, you should go back to Africa, I said, well, you should go back to wherever you came from, because my people have been here 400 years. How far back can you trace? How much longer can you say you've been in this country? Because then they shut up. I started letting them know I've traced my ancestors back to 1854. It's your existence of the blood in the ground that you walk upon of contribution. So don't let nobody make you feel less than or like or belittled. When you tell them, I know that I have ancestors from the South who are part of the American slave trade. And if you don't know that, that's not based on DNA, that's based on genealogy. You can go to the tree, legacy tree, you can go to ancestors.com, you can go to 23andMe, and you need to do your genealogy. If you're unsure, what type of Negro are you? How sure are you of being a descendant of slaves otherwise than talking about it? Because many of you, I start talking to you, I said, well, where's your grandfather from? Oh, they're from Trinidad, or they're from Jamaica. Well, then you can stop. You're not a descendant of slaves. Are you black? Yeah, people will look at you, they can see you black, they see they have African traits in you, but your blood contribution to this country is not a descendant of slave. You're not a DOS. So that's one thing. Understand preservation of a culture that is being under attack, that they have been trying to kill off for decades. Now the Hispanic community want to ride on the benefits that we don't even ride off of ourselves. Now, what the hell is that about? And then you've got liberal progressives in Hollywood and entertainers, black entertainers, who don't even fight for the homeless black people, the mentally ill black people, the mass incarcerated black people who have no issues, just need a good job. Black people who say, I just want a good job. I just want a decent job. I don't have all those issues. Why does the black community not help its own entity? The Jewish community and entertainment, they have fundraisers and foundations, and they put that money right back in, because see, everyone with a profit, non-profit have a coincide together. Meaning that if you have a business and then you have a non-profit, you're able to write that business off through your non-profit. How many black people that you know of that make millions of dollars, or you may hear of, that have non-profits that pertain to putting back into the community to embetter the community as a colonist of people? None of them. So when they talk, I don't listen to these pathetic fools online or our entertainment industry, because they're killing off our people by not having us put us priority first. Another thing too, they need to have e-verification. Now that they've declared a state of emergency, let me lay it down. E-verification needs to be put in place. We have to do like Ron and Rand Paul said. They need to cut all benefits off. They don't need no Section 8. They don't need no WIC. They don't need no EBT card. They don't need no special housing, like Section 8. They don't need that. No, boo-boo. You came here illegal, you can stay on the streets like the black people, with the rats eating them with typhus. You should do that with them children. You keep opening up your legs and pushing out. And now they don't need to be educated by the American people either. They do not need to be in our public schools anymore. In California, half the classes are in English and half of them in Spanish. They have been like that for 30 years. I know, because of my son. I had my son when I was a baby. And me and this baby grew up together, and I'm looking at this going, this is some bull crap. That I remember being a young mother going, what do you mean half the classes in Spanish? Oh, we have to cater to the kids who don't speak no English. So here, your child, if you got a teenage, if you're a parent watching me right now, your child is getting a lesser education because we have to compensate for these people who didn't have no education in their country. Why don't you go back to El Salvador and Guadalajara and fix where you came from, Mexico and Tijuana, and have the government and fix where you got going, instead of coming here and trying to make yourself an entity of needs and wants and making us disarrayed and disrupted by your contribution of nothingness and taking it away. Number three, what they need to do is put a tariffs on all monies wired out of the state. You're going to have to say, well, I got family in Mexico. I got family in Tijuana. I got to send them some money every 2 weeks. No, you don't. And if you decide to, go ahead. We're going to tax you 30%. We need to add something on to that, 30 to 40%. We need to add something on to that. Somebody agree with me, put some thumbs up on that one. We need to get a real out there. We need to put out some information of how if you're going to come here and make money and send it home and not recycle the dollar within the American people, not in your own community, not even within your county, not even within the county. Everything they do is cash. I've showed you videos filming these people selling, buying food and goods from each other, cash. Then because you need those tax dollars, streets, the improvements of your roads, to steal our social security numbers and our IDs. They ain't talking about this on the street. Somebody even one of the last video game that happened to one of their friends. Y'all know people, I'm not the only one regurgitating that truth. ID, social security card, including the elderly people who are homeless, who are disbanded and put out by refugees and immigrants. They're taking our ID and using it and saying, well, they're that person now. They're body snatchers. They snatching you out. Number 3, 4, or 5, they don't even have any skill sets. They have come here and they masterfully come into your community and they copy you. They copy you. And let me tell you why they copy you. Because my battery's low, it's on. They copy us because they don't have no skill set. So when they come and they see what you do, and you stupid, you let them in your business, you training them and mentoring these people, and next thing you look up, they just set up shop like in LA. What they got? They got Mexican soul food restaurant. In DC, what do they have? They have Chinese soul food. They got Chinese people selling a wing of unknown franchise all through DC and all through Maryland. I'm like, what is this? And then they got these hard plexiglass windows for you to get your chicken in a bag from. We are treated like we're in a prison, like some kind of animals in a cage. And we go for it. We need to protest and we need to boycott immigrant businesses. We need to start talking about boycotting immigrant businesses that are in urban black communities that don't give nothing but talk to us like we're animals in their cage. When they are in our community, we need to stop buying from the beauty supply stores. We need to stop eating their fried chicken. We need to stop eating their food. We need to stop buying from their little small markets. We need to stop riding on their store or on their scooters or any transportation they might offer. We need to stop pandering to these people who have no respect for a culture of people of descendant of slaves who've been here for 400 years. We don't need to pander to those people anymore. And the e-verification will at least put us into a better position to start having jobs for the rest of us who aren't criminals or in jail or aborted some baby or gay or lesbian. What about the good, normal, other average day folks? Why are we getting caught in the crossfire of this madness? Because we don't speak out. We continue to put it with the plight of how this country has allowed us to put second to third, fourth class citizens. Well, enough is enough. I declare to you out there to start talking about boycotting immigrants, refugees, and businesses in our community that don't contribute back, who are rude to us when we walk in. How many of y'all remember that black girl who got shot in the back by that Asian woman and she fled the country? And that was in California. That was many, many years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago. Ain't nothing changed because we didn't boycott. We didn't stand our ground. At least in the 60s, they just kept marching until something happened. Instead, we've allowed these people to come in. Now everybody black. That Cortez girl said she black. Everybody black. Camilla Harris, everybody black. So if everybody is black, then there's no value to our worth. There's no value to the 14th, 15th, and 13th Amendment. It disavows us as entities of contribution of the 400 years of developing and cross-pollination of this country. We cross-pollinized because those white people raped us. They beat us. They did everything they could to us. We had sex with them. We married them. We birthed children with them. We bred them. We even birthed them with our breasts. The black women did. You know, black men were ostracized and criticized, and they were also devalued. But we kept striving as a people. Well, I'm telling you, it's time that we unite on a new frontier and that we start talking about the boycotting of these people in our communities because they're nasty, they're rude, and they are growing. In California, we have El Salvador businesses and El Salvador stores. We don't have no black restaurants, but 1 or 2. Why is it that we don't see restaurants anymore? Black markets, black schools, black cleaners, black gas stations. We used to own this stuff. We ain't got to go back to no Black Wall Street. Forget black. I'm talking about in the 70s and the 80s in California. For those who were around, I remember seeing that. I wasn't around in no Black Wall Street. I ain't got to go back that far. But since the chain migration and the contribution that this government has given them rights of, it displaces us, and it devalues our contribution and our gain and our worth in this country. People, we got to wake up. We have to wake up, and we need to start having these discussions of boycotting this situation. And how do you rectify it? Say, look, if you're going to be in this community, you have to contribute something other than just take money from our town. Instead of coming up here, setting up your grocery store and having an attitude. Because if Miss Ching, Miss Lee, I don't like your attitude. And you keep that attitude up, we're all going to boycott and not buy from your store. Watch Miss Lee act better and stop trying to jack them prices up and be kissing your ass. You better get these people trained. You got these people coming in our black community, and let them empower themselves and bring their cousins and their uncles, and they done hop from state to state and found all the communities that we live in. They ain't going to the Jewish community doing that bullshit. But we sit up here and we put up with it. Enough is enough, my people. I'm today declaring that we start boycotting these businesses that are in black communities that are rude and abrupt to us, and that we need to find better ways. We need to have a chain conversation of black-owned businesses, hair salons, their beauty supply stores. I don't care if you got to drive an extra 2 miles. Do something to stop these people from being so rude to us and mean to us and spitting in our food and copying our image and our brand and our like. We don't have any authenticity anymore, to the point that they're going to claim they are actually you. They're so delusional, just like Camilla Harris and that Chavez Juarez, what that chick name in New York. Delusional people. Yeah, Mexican soul food. You look it up in LA. I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, they got Mexican and they have soul food. I've told you before, they come here, these chain migration people, black people owned hotels. Now when you go across the country, these chains where you have the Days Inn or you have Quality Inn, all these hotels are owned by India, people from India, right? Hello, what the hell? Excuse me, can you speak slower? Sir, I don't understand what you're saying. You don't understand my English? And then you walk in, they just spray that stuff. I said, what's the spray in here? I call it out. Oh, this spray is from Dubai. I don't like Dubai. Spray American stuff. Clean sprays, Glad, something fresh. Something fresh. Don't start spraying all them weird-ass spray. You got to call these people out. But we pander to their needs and we endure our pain. Let me say that again. We pander to their needs, meaning that they're going to bring their uncles and their cousins, and they don't speak no English. But yet, as the American black people, we don't have any rights, no privileges and benefits. Well, I tell you why, you stupid Negro. You sit your ass and you pander to these people. You pay and you eat their food and you thank them, and you won't want to make them upset because you don't want them spitting your food. Don't buy from them. Don't eat from them. Come together and start saying straight to their face, we are going to boycott you. Let them be afraid, because they won't be getting a check next week. They gonna make those $200-300 next week. Then another $200-300. Then another 100,000, and then another 1,000. Then they realize, what do we need to do? You need to move and sell your business to a black person, and go into Chinatown, since everybody else got their own parts of the village in California. California is a bad version of Epcot. Now listen to me, you African American people in the South. You need to rise and come help us in the North. Contact me. My email is shirleyhusar@gmail.com. I need somebody that wants to come from the South and help me out here in the North to try to help us get some things done and get black people out, because it's no hope for us here. If you got black people in LA, get them out. They lying to you. It's all good. Ain't no all good. Gas is $3 to $4 a gallon. A gallon. Gallons of milks are $5 to $6. It's just a very high living in California. If they got real estate property, don't sell it. I would rent it or do something else. But if they're elderly and they're living here by themselves, and your aunt's always done good, you put a red flag on that and you listen to her and you pay attention to the news to protect your bloodline. But you realize that black people who are in LA right now who have no help, have no one to talk to, have no one to converse with. You people in the South, you don't understand. You got it good because they ain't come to your town yet. And then some of y'all say, oh, they coming to us, they coming to us. Okay, so now they there. They copying you. They watching you. They mimicking you. They stealing from you. They setting up shop right next to you with the same thing. They're body snatchers. They're snatching your opportunity in their best interest. I was so proud of President Trump when he said in Texas, we need to address chain migration. Baby, they watching the Queen's video. How long I've been saying that? Because all y'all, I listen to you out there. Many of y'all done pulled up my old shit and found my old videos. I've been going back to 2009 on YouTube, okay? When I did hiphoprepublican.tv, y'all look that up. I've been doing YouTube videos for a hot minute. So I'm telling you, they are watching us and they're copying us, but they ain't talking about things that are dealing with right now. Typhus is a black plague that could come to your state. Rats and roaches and fleas are popping on people. Now you look it up. Typhus, look it up. It's a black plague, and y'all sitting back acting like this is normal. Who's out there talking? Car register. Oh, car registration. Jesus, thank you so much. Thank you for those who just said that. Yeah, car registration. Real just said that. Honey, the car registration is $25 to $106.70. I mean, $167. $25 to $67 in your state. Let me help you out. California is $300 to $2,000 a year for car registration. Okay? Property taxes is off the chain. Texas has no income tax. Our income tax is about 10%. They trying to pump it up to 15%. Then they said, but we have to pay for these people and we have to give them jobs. They want to have low income, no skill jobs start at $15 to $26 an hour. Then what does that make everybody else do? Raise their criteria because you ain't got no skill set, but you need to get paid all this money for flipping burgers. But see, pure capitalists ain't stupid. That's why you seeing more machines replace people. You got to scan your own food in California because they ain't hiring all them workers. They not paying all them retributions these people want, all these hourly wages they want, benefits. They're gonna hire a computer, so they'll take the risk of you stealing and have you scan your own food. Yes, honey, you pumping your own gas. You doing everything here. They're doing at McDonald's. You pushing the buttons. How many times did you go to Urban Game Changers on YouTube? That video I did about Willie Larson did in Florida about 5 years ago, and I was alerting people they're getting machines to replace people. Well, it's in place now. This is normal. We go to the airport, we got to scan and put our own name in, print our own ticket out, and bag our own luggage. They got you doing everything because they don't want the human people to do it. Because why? It costs extra money. And so that's what big corporate business is doing. In the meantime, the state is taxing people for having employees and trying to get every dollar they can out of the resources that are here. Amazon is leaving. Apple is leaving. Google is leaving. What does that tell you? If those entities of this Silicon Beach, quote unquote, that's big in Venice Beach and Santa Monica and those Playa Vista, those areas, they're like, forget about what we built here. Forget about this nice building. And they had built a lot of high density impact apartments. They were about to blow up. When they realized what California was going to do to tax them to death to get all that money, they said, oh, hell no, we're going to Texas where there's no income tax. Okay? Florida's offering benefits. Iowa is offering benefits. Every other state wants our people. I just came back from Texas. Let me tell you something. Texas right now has an average of 350 people per week moving in from other parts of the state. They said they have an average of 100,000 people per month moving to Texas. What does that tell you? There's some problems in the neighboring cities. Than mostly California, because Californians who are waking up are leaving. But for black people, I need you, my people, to start having conversation of boycotting businesses in urban communities owned by people who don't give respect, honor, or reverence to the community or contribution. All they do is capitalize. Listen to me, that word everybody you say evil. We're all capitalists. We have to pay our bills. We work to get revenues to pay our bills. These people are capitalizing off of you. And we need a national boycott against these people in Detroit, Atlanta, California, Chicago, urban black communities that are destitute with these foreign country people who have been there bringing in chain migration. We don't need to buy their food. We don't need to buy their liquor. We don't need to buy their hair. We don't need to buy nothing no more. We need to unite and start having conversations of other places to go to offset those people. Well, what are you trying to do? I want them to be gone because they don't add value to our community and they don't respect us anymore. And we've asked for respect for years from then when that black girl got shot in the back. We still don't get no respect. We don't get any money. We don't get anything to improve our communities. Our streets aren't better. Our street lights ain't better. We don't have nice trash cans on the corner of the street. Little simple stuff that may not seem much to people. I think values. I think it adds value. They don't want to paint their building. They don't even try to beautify the community. All they want to do is capitalize because they know they're the only ones there. And they've pushed other black businesses out, and we have allowed them to do that. How many of you guys saw that video where they had that documentary on black hair, and that man, there was a black-owned hair business, and the Koreans came in saying the black people set them on fire. They lie on us. And we sit back and we don't defend our own people. Well, this is a new day, a new honor, a new way of waking up. Because the state of emergency has been declared for this wall of protection, and we need to create our own damn wall. We need to create a wall of protection for our own people and our own ideologies. Does anybody agree with me? Anybody out there? RC said people are bringing dead animals from Colombia, really, in order to sell them skins and use them and getting caught at the airport. I've heard of people downtown LA selling dogs and people eating them. Now that's another story. They showed them hanging. I was like, wow. Because they're bringing their culture. You know, they eat dogs. We don't do that here. But they're creating a dialect. You remember I told you this whole, let's have all this fusion food. Well, part of that fusion food is food that we don't normally eat. And dog is part of some other cultures that they eat. So a lot of things that you're tasting, oh, this is great. I don't want no more fusion food. Just give me some good American food, and I am so good. If somebody agrees with me on that one, yeah. You say, well, how is Chicago? Chicago's under distress right now. How many people have not been following Chicago? Look at Detroit. You know, this person said, I'll see, Susie says, I'm originally from California. I moved to Texas 2 years ago, and I love it, Shirley. Absolutely love it. I am a Texan. You go, girl. I'm happy for you. Hey, Granny. Granny's out there. Active Granny says, low speed train. Okay, low speed train. Okay, let me educate y'all what's going on in California. Governor Brown, Gavin Newsom, Eric Garcetti all have pertained that they need to push for this bullet train. This goes back to when Obama was president. So the Obama administration gave California $1.5 million to pull a bullet train that was supposed to go from California, Southern California to Northern California. So I think that was LA. It might have been Long Beach, but I think it was LA to San Francisco. That means that they had to do a lot of track, a lot of eminent domain. What does that mean? That means if you have land and you were in the way of the train coming through, they had the right to say, I'm sorry, boo-boo, you're going to have to sign your property over. We're going to give you the value of what it's worth, and we need that land so the train can come through. And so they've had this money since, I think, 2015, 14. Somebody put the right year up. I'm saying the wrong year. I don't know exact year. But they got this money of this $1.5 billion, and they supposedly are working on building this train that's supposed to get you there in 2 hours. Okay?